their case is that it's all attacking but not much constructive. When you take a look at their main issue, that soldiers are being abused by the government, there was no logical link to how showing the public all this information would actually lead to some change. They did not say how the public would react to it. They did not talk about public opinion. They just said that, well, it's right that the public should know, and therefore it ends there. It does not solve the problem. They did not solve anything in this debate. When we said in our scenario that we already allowed discussion between the military and the government privately, we did not have to go out to the public just because of some minor refutes between the military and the government, and the military's criticism for that government. We see that status quo is not failing, especially with the new Obama administration. We said that, and we said that furthermore, if they're trying to picture that status quo is failing, well then prove it. Prove how soldiers exactly right now. Prove how soldiers, I can't see my notes. Prove how soldiers exactly right now are being abused. Because as I'm saying, your information is actually in the past and is actually already passed, was actually focused on the Bush administration. Let's move on. What did they respond to and what did they not respond to? Because there was a lack of response to the waiver of rights. This idea that these people obviously had to consent to this contract before they actually gave out the rights. Because they kept picturing to us, these people are oppressed, these people have been limited of their rights, these people have limited their own rights for the sake of the country, because they know that the people need this, because they know that this is the only way to keep the to keep the country running. Moving on, there was a lack of discussion on actually how I discussed discursive and the direct power. What did they say? They did not respond to actually creating this society of fear. They did not respond to how the public is going to react when actually the military speaks out against the government, when there's this kind of tension between the military and the government open to the public, when actually the people are panicking over what's going to happen. Is there going to be a civil war or things like that? They never just responded to that. They just kept on their stance that, well, we have to go for freedom of speech and things like that. They said they never responded to the image of the vision in the military. They actually mischaracterized us by saying that they said that there was only one image in the military. There was only one view in the military, and that's wrong. We didn't say that there was only one view in the military. Obviously, there were different people with different views. We said that there was only one image of the military. It was that it was united. It was that it was a force of the government that was protecting the people, that was protecting the country, and standing for national security. Next, on the issue of combat troops versus ex-veterans, they basically said, well, what's the difference between combat troops and ex-veterans? We responded to this quite frankly by saying, well, when you're an ex-veteran, you're not in the military anymore. Therefore, you do not represent the military anymore. Therefore, your views do not represent the military anymore. And therefore, you don't actually cause you don't actually cause this division anymore, because you're representing only your personal beliefs and only what you believe in and not what anyone else. And therefore, you are a citizen again. Moving on, they said that the military has only one view. I already happened that. Next, they said, we questioned, why are they just talking about the criticism of the government? Why are they just talking about the military saying, hey, we need more combat troops and things like that? Why are they talking about the political issues? Why are they talking about how the military will actually use this avenue to talk about their views on war, their views on laws, their views on these things, and how this will actually affect the people's decision, how this will affect what people think about a certain issue? They never tackled that. They just said, well, they're being abused right now when they go back and when they're out in the battlefields, and when they come back, they can't actually speak against the government, which we clearly responded to when we said that they could speak against the government, but they just shouldn't, say it to everyone, say it to the media, say that we and the government are fighting, and therefore we are actually having this issue on whether or not we should extend the term of my stay in the military and things like that. And I find it funny and ironic that all their examples are about the U.S. soldiers, when in fact they keep saying, well, in most parts of the world, military service is mandatory. Well, in the U.S., military service isn't mandatory. So why are you using the U.S. as your examples? They keep talking about the U.S. military service not being mandatory. So on all these points, on how they were so unresponsive, on how they had not much was constructive, we say that we won this debate.